Twitter still is a dangerous place in terms of disinformation. We know there's lots of disinformation, about Ukraine. There's lots of Nazi stuff on there. But I wonder if it concentrates it so much that the right-wingers get bored of talking to each other, right? When Twitter is Getter, they don't want to be on there. They want to be where the liberals are because they want to own the libs, and they can only do that in places where normal people are. And I wonder if they start trying to infect and impact threads the same way, and whether there are enough guardrails to keep them from coming over there. Because that's one thing I've noticed. They don't like talking to each other. They want to talk to normal people, and they can only do that if they break out of their closed platforms and get onto ones where normal people are.
Yeah, it's the ever-repeating story of the internet. This is how it's always gone, by the way. People create these small enclaves where they find themselves to be safe, comfortable, to have regular conversations with their friends. And then those places become cool or interesting. And people want in on those conversations. They want to become part of that community. They become bigger and bigger. And then eventually they become so big that some people with unpopular opinions start to think there's a conspiracy as to why they're getting shut down. Sometimes, for example, they create these things called the Twitter files, where they launch GOP congressional investigations to find out why these things are happening. But it turns out maybe their opinions are just not something that people want to listen to. And it's not censorship. It's just, the way it is.
It's not us. It's you. Sorry, right-wingers.
Yes, you just heard that. You actually just heard an MSNBC contributor claim that there's no censorship, absolutely no concerted censorship against conservatives and the so-called far right on social media. Nope, no censorship whatsoever because, well, silencing you is just the way it is. It's not censorship. It's, well, maybe your opinions are not something people want to listen to. People like the president, Joe Biden, right? Merrick Garland, Katie Hobbs, bureaucrats inside the FBI and the NSA, or Jack Dorsey for that matter, who, by the way, appears to be going through a process of repentance over all of this. Yeah, these people, they just don't want to listen to your opinion. And so they shut you down. But that's not censorship. No, because that's just the way it is. That's your legacy media, folks. That is what your legacy media has degenerated into with hires like the borderline illiterate Joy Reid over at MSNBC. They're absolutely livid over the fact that a Trump-appointed judge has crushed the Biden administration's repeated and ongoing attempts at censoring social media posts that they don't like. And legacy media, which of course operates solely on the basis of the First Amendment, does not want those First Amendment rights extended to you. Those rights are for them and them alone. You have no such rights. You're not allowed to think or speak apart from what they tolerate, from what they approve. It's not free speech. It's favored speech. It's granted speech. It's permitted speech. But thank God we had Trump, who was busy for 4 years reforming the judiciary, making it more MAGA, more constitutionally faithful. And one of his judges just he utterly crushed the government's ability to stifle free speech. U.S. District Judge Terry Doughty has officially denied the Biden Justice Department's request for a stay in censoring speech on social media platforms. The ruling officially prohibits government agencies from contacting social media platforms to pressure or induce the removal of content containing protected free speech. The judge also indicated that Republican attorneys generals who brought the suit are likely to prevail in proving that federal agencies and officials played a role in suppressing social media posts critical of COVID-19 vaccines for the 2020 presidential election. The Biden administration's DOJ filed an emergency stay on the injunction, arguing that the ruling was too broad and vague, but that stay has itself been rejected. Already in response to the ban, the State Department has reportedly suspended its regular meetings with Facebook. So the ruling is already seeing some very positive results, and the legacy media is absolutely flipping out. They're blatantly pathetic. Wait until you see this. But first, gang, you all know that as we age, aches and pains are normal, but they don't have to be. And that's where a groundbreaking medical scientist comes in, Clint Winters. Now, you've seen Clint on Fox. You've read about him in Forbes. He's a world-renowned health expert who's unveiled a natural pain reliever that's taking the world by storm. It's called ConoCB2. the 100% drug-free way to get full-body pain relief without dangerous meds. It's the go-to pain reliever for hundreds of professional athletes, tens of thousands of seniors, and it's even the official pain reliever for the fighters in the UFC. And the best news, Cono CB2 has no documented side effects after years of private testing. It's absolutely the future of pain relief. So whatever you do, make sure to click on that link below right now and check out Clint's amazingly informative report on how Cono CB2 is changing lives by providing safe and powerful relief at a fraction of the cost of pain pills. Click on that link below right now.
Trump-appointed judge, but this judge was confirmed 98-0 by the Senate. Just reading the words in this injunction, a, quote, massive effort by the defendants to suppress speech based on content, those are the judge's words, calling the present case, quote, arguably involves the most massive attack against free speech in the United States history, Ellie.
Yeah. It's a dramatic decision by this judge. If you read through it, he's citing to literature and George Washington and Ben Franklin. Here's what really is astonishing to me. This is a conservative ideology that clearly comes through in this decision. It's a conservative political ideology, right? We saw some of the quotes questioning vaccines, questioning masks, conservative talking points. But the ruling itself is the opposite of judicial conservatism. This is one of the most aggressive, far-reaching rulings you'll ever see. What this judge is purporting to do is to micromanage, really, the day-to-day interactions between essentially the entire executive branch, all these agencies that are listed as defendants, and the leading social media companies. And in the actual temporary injunction, the judge basically says, you're not allowed, administration, to talk to these social media companies about any protected free speech except for cybersecurity threats, national security threats, criminal threats. But where's the line? Who's going to police this?
Yeah, this moron, this CNN moron is faulting, I kid you not, he's faulting the judge for citing George Washington and Ben Franklin defending the right of every American to free speech. I mean, what do you say? So suddenly now that's far right. I mean, you just saw it. And then he asks, where's the line? Right? Where's the line in all of this? Where do you draw the line? You just saw it, dude. The line is that unelected government bureaucrats don't get to police our speech, period. That's the line, you idiot. And not to be outdone, the far-left radical activists disguised as journalists over at the New York Times, they complained that this ruling could curtail efforts to combat, I kid you not, disinformation. That's what the media's job is now, according to the New York Times, to combat disinformation, just like they did with the Hunter Biden laptop. All right, the media claims for itself a monopoly over what is considered true and untainted, reliable information. In other words, everything the legacy media is pushing for now comes down to this, when all is said and done. The government must be allowed to censor free speech precisely because some speech must be censored. It's a tautology, right? That's basically what you heard passing as learned conversation on MSNBC. The government must be allowed to censor free speech because, well, some speech must be censored. And who, of course, determines what speech must be censored? Well, of course, you guessed it. It is the legacy media working together with the Democrats and the deep state. They have arrogated to themselves that prerogative and that alone. I, for one, am eternally grateful for the likes of Donald J. Trump and his transformation of the judiciary. It looks like such disgustingly pathetic attempts at silencing Americans have themselves been silenced. Are you ready to join the resistance? Because I'm leading a group of dedicated, courageous patriots who can lead a spearhead into the heart of the secular globalist establishment. We punished Bud Light and Target, driven CNN and the legacy media to near bankruptcy, forced BlackRock to backtrack on ESG, and now we're seeing our conservative-dominated Supreme Court ending affirmative action and protecting religious liberty. In my Insiders Club, I show you concrete steps to take locally and online that will only keep this mass uprising going until the battle is won. Don't wait. Click the link in my description below and join my Courageous Patriots Insiders Club today.